Welcome! We're the Custodians. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Gabe.
And today we're here with something a little different.
Wow.
It's a trailer for something that I know Gabe is very passionate about. So, if you want to kind of take it from here.
Yeah, we're going to be reacting. For now, it's just a trailer because it's not out yet. But we're going to be doing a reaction to the trailer for the Legend of Vox Machina.
Yes.
So, for those of you that don't know, we play D&D.
Yes, we do.
We are big proprietors of D&D, and I would probably say, at least I'm going to argue, I'm the biggest fan of D&D out of all three of us.
That's safe to say.
Yeah. I love Critical Role. Critical Role is what got me back into playing Dungeons and Dragons and got me to reintroduce it to my friends. And now we still play it to this day.
What is Critical Role, Gabe?
Critical Role is the #1 D&D show, like, on the internet, and the #1 channel on Twitch. And they stream every Thursday for 9 p.m. Central Time and 7 p.m. California time.
That's nothing. We stream every Sunday.
But we stream every Sunday. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard of Critical Role, go and watch them. If you don't know what D&D is, go and learn. They are currently on their 3rd campaign. So if you want to watch that, you can do that. But that's not what this one is about. This show was for about campaign 1. So there was the first big story that they did like 5-6 years ago.
Wow.
And they did a Kickstarter for it because Amazon was like, hey, we want to make a shit ton of money, and you guys
we want to own everything.
Yeah. And the Kickstarter that they did made like $11-12 million over the whole course. They hold the record for
absolute utter failure.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. They hold the record for most money made on Kickstarter. It's dumb as shit.
Losers.
Absolutely terrible. So I started with campaign 1. I've been trying to get them to watch and get into D&D or in Critical Role, but they can't really get into it. And you want to know, that's fine. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I know people that honestly prefer other D&D shows to Critical Role, but I love it.
But yeah, so as Gabe just pointed out, whilst I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, I have never really gotten through anything Critical Role related.
Exposed enough. I've tried a few times, but nothing ever really came to fruition because it is.
And I'm not to say that I don't think it's good. I haven't gotten, I haven't had a good time to get hooked yet.
It's a commitment.
It
is a definite commitment, even to just watch one episode. It's like you got to sit down for like 3 or 4 hours.
It's not something you can just kind of keep on in the background either, because you got to make sure that you're paying attention. Yeah. So that's the thing here. I have no idea what this is going to be about.
What do you know about? Do you know anything about the first campaign at all? Because it's multiple arcs, and this is.
Is this the one with the
second arc that they're
tiefling with the lollipop?
That's the second campaign.
Then no.
Yeah. So this story that they're doing, I'm not going to say too much because I won't.
Don't say anything at all.
No, I'm saying because the first campaign has like 5 arcs in it or so. This is like the second arc. This probably takes place over the course of like 10 to 15 episodes or so. And it's really good.
Okay.
It's very, very cool.
So
do you know any? I know you know some of the voice actors.
Yes.
They all are playing the original characters.
Yeah.
I know.
Which is,
self-explanatory.
It's kind of perfect.
Matt is playing a few.
Every NPC?
No.
Damn it.
No. That was something that he actually addressed. He was like, I'm not going to be voicing every single person. I'm going to be voicing a lot of the more iconic characters, but they did get a lot of other voice actors that are very involved with the D&D community that they've had for guests and stuff to come on and voice their characters that they played. And
it would be kind of
hilarious. It would have been fun.
Because he
only can do so many voices. He only can be a woman so many times. And there's a lot of female characters. But who do you know in the group? What you know the name of the group is Vox Machina.
Vox Machina.
Who do you know the characters? Not the players. Who do you know the characters?
There's a Goliath, right?
Yes. What's his name?
I have no idea.
He's right over there. I have a pop of him. He's in the back.
I know what he looks like. I don't know what he's called.
His name starts with a G.
G.
It's very similar to Grodd name.
Graham?
No, it's 4 letters.
4 letters.
4 letters.
Goal.
No, it's similar to Grodd's name.
Good.
It's spelled almost the exact same as Grodd's name.
Grog.
Yes, his name is Grog. His name is Grog.
Well, here I'll find out. I'll find out. That's kind of one of the things why I'm so interested about this is that we have somebody who knows everything.
I know everything. I've seen the whole
someone
thing.
who understands D&D and how all these races and stuff work. I understand. I don't know any of this story at all or the characters.
But just so you understand, this is an adult show. They wanted the one thing that they for sure wanted to do.
I kind of figured.
Yeah, they for sure wanted to make this an adult show. So there's blood, there's gore, there's swearing, there's terrible shit.
Gotcha.
It's awesome. And it's also like in the Marvel animated or the DC animated style from like Young Justice. It's kind of got that art style.
I really like
it.
Young Justice.
It's got that art style to it.
Yeah,
I think I've said everything. Do you have anything you want to say before we start?
I'm excited to get started.
Your usual plugs. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, but before we do, please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on our social medias. Links are at the top of the description. I stream every Sunday. Read Tokyo Ghoul. It's super fun. And then on... Oh, we fucking forgot to close that door. Why don't you do that while I'm doing the plugs?
Yep.
Then on... and if you would, please support us... Then if you would, please support us on Patreon. You get a shout out during the video going over Gabe's vacant body. He's a ghost. He's not here. You also get access to our exclusive Discord, which is super fun. Polls that determine things with the channel. And, of course, full-length early reactions. So please, if you would, support us on Patreon. One more time, please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on our social medias, and then support us on Patreon. Let's get started.
Yeah.
This is the Legend of Vox Machina. The trailer. On Ga. 3, 2, 1, Ga. Evil does that. Okay. They're dead. Okay. There's Grog.
I'm sorry, who the hell are you? Vox Machina, we fuck shit up.
Alright. Oh, interesting. Little force shield there.
Oh.
So, what I'm most interested about is... Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh,
Do you understand that art style I was talking about?
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be good. Yo, Travis.
January 28th.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing I was gonna say is one thing that's really interesting with Dungeons and Dragons. So, unlike with regular storytelling, Dungeons and Dragons is all up to the player's discretion.
Yes.
In terms of story development, things like that. It's entirely up to them, which means that things can go in radically different ways than what they're being built up to. Now, these guys are professionals. They're amazing at what they do, and so I imagine that they're going to adhere to plot hooks as best as their characters would typically.
They've actually made videos addressing like the creation of the thought process behind the whole show, and the show basically the story's already been laid out. They already have it all written from the live streams, and they said they are adhering to it as best as they can.
So the interesting thing about that is that it's so much different than writing a book or a show, because it's entirely up to your control, the plot progression, character arcs, things like that. Now again, these guys are professionals, not to say it's just going to be random whatever, but the fact that this story was determined in a sense on the fly by their actual actions. So having an arc, a story arc. Obviously, again, that's what you kind of want to do with Dungeons & Dragons. Not to say that there is no overarching themes, plots, ideas in Dungeons & Dragons by anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done that before. But the point being is that when you make a show, you typically want to have everything in control, everything in understanding from point A to point Z, the end.
Yeah.
But that's not the case with Dungeons & Dragons. So having... And, of course, I have no idea how this went, or what happens in it. But I'm very, very interested to see how things go.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for me because I've So another thing that they actually brought up is when you watch just the live stream, you only get the perspective of the heroes of the party.
That's another thing.
Something that he brought up, Matt Mercer, because he's the dungeon master, that he brought up is that the show will also introduce perspectives from the villains.
That's another thing.
Never got to see. So there's going to be some stuff that yes, I would understand that, but I've never actually seen. Like I know the villains. I know, what their plans are.
You knew that there was some kind of meeting that happened.
Like,
with the
I
villains,
know
but now
that
we'll
the
be
party
able
is supposed
see
to go
it.
here, and they meet a villain there. I know that the villain is there, and I know why, but from the live stream, I never got to see him leading to that location.
Mm-hmm.
This will now give me to go, oh, I know where he was before he was there, and the conversation and getting to see him go to this location, whoever that may be.
And that's another, not to say weakness of Dungeons and Dragons, but another drawback. It is a weakness. That
it's first person perspective.
You
It's
can't,
just from you guys,
unless you want to sit everybody down and narrate a scenario that they have no interaction with that's happening
read a
somewhere
book
else.
then if you're gonna do
All
that.
of the surprises typically happen like as the surprise kicks off.
Yeah.
Like unlike with television, movies and stuff, where you can have scenes of the villain doing stuff, and like get real in depth with that. That's not something that the players get access to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just it's a lot harder to develop villains because you can get like all this information, you can see it from their perspective in movies, television, gaming, whatever. But there's only so many times where you can have the villains show up, monologue, and then get away without allowing them to fight because you don't want them to die yet.
Yep. yeah.
Exactly. So it's I'm very interested to see how this goes because not only are these guys veteran, excellent Dungeons and Dragons players, but they've been in the industry of storytelling forever.
Yep.
So I'm very, very excited to see this.
It's even more special because it's characters that they created.
They created, exactly.
Usually what their job is, hey, we need you to play someone that we created. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this time we get to play someone that we created.
Only thing I guess worried about is them injecting maybe jokes that happened on the like out of character that are at the table that I'm sure were very funny or very I can't imagine this session without that moment but into that because
no, I completely understand that.
While that will probably be awesome to the people who've watched the streams,
it can be out of place.
Not maybe not out of place. I mean, these guys are they're really good, but not necessarily. I doubt that they're going to be like, "Hey guys, remember when we were at the table?" No. My point being is like when they make kind of a joke in reference to something that say only the streams would get.
Yeah.
Now again, good on them. If it's really funny for the people who have seen the streams, that's fine, I guess. But as someone who hasn't, I don't want to be in a position where I have to look to Gabe and be like,
I don't think that's gonna happen. I really
I don't
I have
an
unbelievable amount of trust in the Critical Role crew and all the work that they put into creating this. So I honestly think that you could watch this show and have little to no understanding of the first campaign at all.
Wait a minute. Can I do something fun?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Can I try and determine what's going on in certain scenes?
Yeah, you can. I'm telling you, this first scene of them getting fucked up doesn't really...
Oh, I was going to say, either this was just a joke...
This was a complete joke.
I mean, because it is kind of like you have Frodo here, Legolas, Aragorn, Gandalf, and Gimli. So, that's...
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so... I kind of figured.
No, this is just a complete joke.
Okay, so I was gonna say either this is a complete joke or the setup for this story is that there was a grand group of heroes and they lost.
No. This is a complete fuck.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's just a hardy har. So that
I'm getting blown away.
is that's also just part of the joke.
I think so. I don't.
Yeah, it seems like
just
it.
Getting dusted.
So from behind the. So, let's see. They're all together at this point.
4 members right there in that frame.
His name is Percy, right?
Percival.
That's all I need to know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll find out.
There's a full name.
There's a full name. It's fancy.
It's a long, fancy name. I'm sure you'll probably hear it.
So
I also have him as a pop. He's right over there, right? You want the wings?
The one with the wings.
Yep.
I probably shouldn't know that he has wings yet.
Probably not, no. So that's my fault, but you've seen that before, so there's nothing.
So now most like the kind of typical D&D start is you meet up in a tavern.
Yes.
So my first guess would be like this is their like they're having a drinking contest and they don't know each other yet, but I would be wrong because there's no way that this group would start like that.
So,
which by the way, I actually really like the tavern start. I don't get why people don't like it.
I think people think it's just too generic. I enjoy it. For me though, the case is probably
That's a bear.
yeah, it's I can't fucking say who these people are.
That's a bear.
I'm sure that because again, this arc that they're doing is not the first arc that they did in the first campaign. So I don't know if it's going to be like this story is going to be right on the tail end of that first arc that they did.
Right. So we may not. They could just be a group.
I'm going to assume that's what it is because there's a lot of built up, and I know who these people are. So, or at least I know 3 of them. I don't know. Actually, no, I know 4 of them.
So none of these guys
I know 4 of them.
are players or are protagonists.
No, those are all NPCs.
So this probably is where we get our primary quest from, and like, maybe.
Potentially.
I'm sorry, who the hell are you?
Because that's another thing. Predictions are so much harder.
Yeah,
Because
you know nothing.
I not only do I know nothing, but again, going back to what I said
D&D
before,
show.
it's not like I can base a bunch of my predictions off of like standard, story progression.
Because it's just like, oh, I'm going to see if I fail or succeed.
It could be like fucking...
Like, in your mind, you'd be like, okay, based off of normal storytelling, it would make most sense for this person to succeed at this
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
And then it's like, oh no, they fucking failed.
They failed. Oh.
Which, granted, I will say, Critical Role is kind of wonky sometimes in the sense that the things
Holy
that make...
fuck, Grug's axe is fucking huge.
Yeah, it's Grog. But there is some honest... There are so many moments in Critical Role that make you think, nah, this shit's staged. Because it's like, when you...
The perfect thing happened.
Yeah, when you roll the dice and it's like, it happens, and it's like, there's no way that actually fucking... Like,
Magnets.
The campaign...
There's no way.
the ending to campaign 2... Like, you could
It's
not
so fucking cinematic that...
You could not make up the fucking ending to campaign 2, and it's like, yeah, that shit was scripted. They faked that. But and some of the things that happen in the show are too crazy to believe that it was all by chance,
Fuck shit up.
Yeah, it's
I know.
that's fucking...
And it depends on, like, the tone.
Sam Raimi.
It's very much a comedy action.
Yes.
And fuck shit up at the table would sound a lot better, I think, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, we're here to fuck shit up. Like, but I'm not the, like...
No, I get where
you get what I mean, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily fit the appropriate high fantasy televised session.
But I'm sure, again, that does sound exactly like something some playing Dungeons and Dragons would say.
Knowing his character, that is...
It's absolutely fitting in that sense. So,
Yeah.
on one hand...
It's like, yes, good on them.
It's like, that annoyed me. On the other side, it's like, that makes perfect sense. It's like... Ooh, airship. Okay.
Yes.
The burned area. Oh, I wish I could zoom in and enhance. Okay. So I'm just going to assume that our party is on here. Because you recognize this, meaning that it's not it's not a event that's getting animated in context.
Yeah, I recognize this.
So burnt areas, so
Yes.
some kind of battle / raid occurred because looks like a town here. Okay, so maybe something small that our heroes were tasked to look into. But here it is. This is the same wooded area.
Yes.
So this is them landing and being attacked. Or engaging in a conflict that's already happening, but I don't think so. That's interesting. It's like a magic shield.
Yes.
So what?
Oh, you have to look down.
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun.
Yeah, it's a flintlock with multiple barrels.
Yeah, that's Joe's character. It's just Reggie. Yep, see, there you go. See, that was when Joe was asking me why this isn't a fucking 1865 revolver. I'm like, no, it's a flintlock that's got multiple barrels on it, because that shit's really out of place. And you're like, there's a
I
whole,
think you can. It depends.
there's a whole story behind that. So this
They got a druid. Bigby's hand. I'm trying to think how many spell type, like how many classes can learn that spell. It's like, is he a bard?
Do you want me to answer your
No.
question? Then okay.
So, but
You'll be
they're
able
doing
to-
the fastball special, which I fucking love.
You'll be able to figure out what their classes are pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, barbarian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grug is barbarian.
But they're doing the fastball special, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming at the table, the voice for this character would say Bigby's hand like that every time.
That's how he says it every single time. He goes, Bigby's hand!
Which, again, that's that kind of translation. And oh, glad I missed. Okay. So we got these two, who I'm assuming either are very good at hiding it, or they come from a higher class family because they're confident, they're on the right, they're well dressed. Everybody else, on the other hand, is lying. They are attempting to fit into.
You're half right. I'll say you're half right.
They're attempting to fit into that kind of society, while these two were born.
What do you mean? Grog's doing a great job. He's got the toga going.
Because. Yeah, because he is evaluating their curtsies right now.
You see what I mean? That Reggie and Percy are the same person?
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, so you see what I mean by his very bloody...
Well, yeah, I mean,
Typish.
that's how they fucking probably describe this shit. That goddamn son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's in the back. They actually did do I think it might have been at Comic-Con. They actually did a live voiceover of this exact bar scene. It's like a minute or so long. Just kind of like giving a teaser for it, and it was actually pretty funny. So
Stop being slow. So he's drunk. Cool. Whoa. Okay, so we do find a giant treasure hoard, and giant treasure hoards.
I actually don't know why that's there.
This could be
That
like a
might something else.
flashback,
Possibly.
maybe. Though giant treasure hoard, my brain immediately goes dragon. I love it. Just hearing Gara's voice actor go, nah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's-
Liam O'Brien.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the bear's back.
Yeah.
The bear's here.
There's a bear.
Are we missing anybody? Is that person being polymorphed into a bear?
No, that's everybody.
That's everybody. Shit. Then
Yeah, there's a bear.
why? Why is there a bear?
Do you want me to
No.
explain it to you?
No.
It'll make the most sense. It'll make sense.
What is this? Is this Shield of Faith or something?
I don't fucking know. It's definitely not a spell. But I'm sure that they're gonna, like, not do like exact spells, from the game.
What the fuck is going on here? That was a big boy. Now this looks great. That little combat sequence looks great. What was that?
Yeah, this is when you get
Background
stories.
shit with the other people. Or is this some kind of vampire cult? That guy looks very vampire-y.
What gave it away? The vampire look?
The vampire look, the goatee, the white with the black. It's
Yeah.
Big Wolf. This is that must be like an enemy faction.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or it's one of our edgier characters' backstories. Like this. This reeks of edgy backstory. Well,
wow,
yeah,
wow,
because
there's
it
the
is. Yeah, the
transition.
transition.
Yeah.
That's edgy backstory. Ooh, look at that.
Mhm.
Earth Kingdom aesthetic.
I know where they are as well.
Yeah, I bet they're underground. Oh, wait, no, they're not underground. They're in a swamp. Because these are big trees and it's dark and green filtered. So it's a swamp.
So it's a swamp forest.
God, it's a big gun. The finger.
I know this scene. Oh, that's great.
I love that kind of dynamic. They're just fucking flipping each other off, and he's like just charting shit on a map. It's
Yep.
like it's. I'm very, very excited to watch
Liam's character is like if you mixed Wolverine with Deadpool. Like he's got that. He's that classic. I'm the badass of the group, but he also fucks around and doesn't take things seriously a lot too. So.
Because it's really hard to take things serious, like 100% only seriously when you're surrounded by friends.
Yeah,
playing D&D.
for sure. Even they don't even do it. They try and definitely at the table they try and stay in character as much as possible, but they have a lot of out of character moments as well.
Zombies. Rage. He's a bard.
Yes, he is a bard.
He's a bard.
What gave it away?
All right, cleric or paladin being powered up by the bard is cool. I'm so excited to watch this. Fucking Kamehameha.
See, it's like that gives away. It's like not a spell because I don't think.
Like, I can imagine this scene being transcribed. It's like, as you lift your hand, a spew of blood just keeps rocketing from your side. And Travis Willingham being like, is that supposed to happen? Like, I cannot tell you how excited I am to watch this.
If that's how you feel, I don't think I feel.
I can't, hey, it's, yeah, seriously.
It's definitely something I wasn't expecting to happen. Because I haven't necessarily been there since like the very beginning. I became a critter.
Really?
That's what they call people
Yeah,
that just like
I
that.
get it.
I joined them when they were doing their second campaign, but I didn't watch the second campaign. I started on the first one, finished that, and then literally junior of high school, senior year of high school.
I remember
I
you
watched
would
like
sit
2
down.
to 3 episodes every single fucking day to try and catch up to the live stream.
I remember you'd be eating lunch, and I'd be like, hey, so what do you think would win between a Imperial AT-AT and a Covenant Scarab? And you'd be like,
I would be on my iPad. I literally had that shit on.
thanks for the conversation, Gabe.
During class, I would have it. I have my earbuds in the whole fucking time, plugged in, watching, because I have a lot more patience for it.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing. Again, I've explained this concept.
You did explain.
It's not that I'm not interested or not want to get into it. One, I'm so fucking busy, and
Yes.
it's a commitment. But also, it's a lot harder to get hooked on these early sessions, or at least the first one, for all these campaigns, because it's not like a story. A story typically opens up with something that grabs you,
Yes.
something that hooks you with the characters.
At least with Matt's style, what he's literally done from with the beginning of the second campaign and the third campaign, he literally just takes like 10-15 minutes explaining. Here's the world.
Well, I'm not talking about a lore
country.
dump. I'm not talking about a
And
lore
then,
dump.
and
I'm
then
talking
it
about
brings into the
the
characters.
thing that grabs you and hooks you, like interesting plot hooks and kind of stuff like that. Now,
It just takes a little
again,
bit in the
it's
first
not
episode to get
surprising. It does not surprise me at all that they are beginning the show with the second arc, because then everything's already, built up and established with characters enough to where you can just. It's like here's a little flashback, a little maybe like early section dedicated to everything that happened prior.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into this part. Because unlike with a real story, or not a real story, not to, discredit this or anything like that. It's not my
shade. Jesus.
a written story
Uh-huh.
is that you have to kind of let the slow build up be there. Because you can have the lore dump of the world, but that's not necessarily interesting in terms of like I want to hear more. It's more of like, oh, that's cool. How the world works like that. That's neat history, I guess. But it's entirely up to the characters and how they interact with that environment that makes it interesting. Which is why D&D can be kind of slow to start, especially when you're not playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because all the visuals come from their descriptions and stuff. Which again, these guys, I'm certain some of the best, if not the best at it. But still, this is easily, without question, the best way to get me into D&D.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, I'm sure. with hundreds of thousands of more people are going to be introduced to Dungeons and Dragons for the first time or just Critical Role this way. So I'm super fucking excited.
Good. I'm glad. Because so we still got like 2 more weeks or so before this. No, like 3 weeks.
22nd, I think.
The 22nd?
I think.
No, it's the 28th.
One of those.
Because today's the 12th. Yeah,
I'm
we got
sure
we got like
says it in the
we got
video
like 3
somewhere.
weeks left.
But yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
Do you have anything else you want to ask or talk about? I'm the lore keeper here.
Monk is my favorite class.
Monk is so busted.
Then it's Wizard.
You've only ever actually... Those are the only you ever played, like... Those are the only 2 you've ever actually played.
I played your custom class. Which one do you think that would translate most into?
You? Do you mean like...
No, like the knight class you made. Which one do you think that would translate more into, like of an official class?
Well, it's supposed to be like a it's supposed to be like another alternative to being like a tank. Because it's like, oh, Barbarian is just a naked fighter. Rogue is just a speedy fighter. Knight can just be a tanky fighter. You know? So, I just wanted to make another version of it.
Well, I've played a melee class.
Yeah.
That also isn't Monk.
So, I guess technically...
yeah.
But you dropped him. He'll be back, but you dropped him.
But yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you so much for watching. I really want to see this. Comment what your favorite class in Dungeons and Dragons is in the bottom, and Gabe will judge you.
I will.
I won't.
I have opinion.
Gabe will.
You don't judge him.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.